EPA meteorologist Bobby Marchant here with your outlook for November 9th, 2022. It is Wednesday, middle of the work week, and the Wednesday video forecast is proudly sponsored by the Walters and Zirinsky team at Keller Williams Real Estate, serving Carbon, Lehigh, and Northampton counties in eastern Pennsylvania. Mentioned you saw this ad spot on the EPAWA video, and the Walters Zirinsky team will offer a credit toward movers, a 1-year home warranty, or general repairs with any successfully closed real estate transaction. Give Mike and Sarah a call today to find out what sets them apart in the real estate industry. They can be reached at 610-867-8888, proud sponsors of the Wednesday video forecast. So first thing we're going to talk about is the nice weather we're going to have for each of the next couple of days, both today and Thursday. Temperatures still going to be very similar to what they were yesterday, today, but then we're going to warm up tomorrow, but we're expecting mostly sunny skies today, and then mostly sunny at least to start the day on Thursday, and then maybe partly cloudy in the afternoon as those clouds will start to increase on Thursday night ahead of this system, which is Tropical Storm Nicole. It might be, by the time you're watching this video, and the next morning, it might be labeled a hurricane already. It is expected to become a hurricane before landfall and become Hurricane Nicole. Now, yesterday we were talking about how it was a subtropical system versus tropical. Explain the difference. It is no longer a hybrid system and has taken on full tropical characteristics. And because of that, it's gotten better organized and it has intensified. And at the time this video was recorded, just before midnight, it was still classified as a strong tropical storm on the threshold of becoming a hurricane. So you might be watching this on, early in the morning on Wednesday, and it could already be named a hurricane by then. But it's expected to make landfall again in that same general West Palm Beach to Port St. Lucie area of eastern Florida as a Category 1 hurricane as it does so. Here is what I was talking about. I showed the satellite yesterday. Much better structure to this today. We were looking at a very disorganized mess in the satellite image I showed yesterday. This looks like is playing the part of a tropical storm, at least with the structure here. It's not completely, not as, you can see the center right here and the center circulation of the convection wrap around the center here. So this is a lot more organized and is playing the part of a tropical storm, at least. Okay, whereas yesterday was very disjointed, which is very typical of a subtropical low. Well, now it is a tropical storm and is making beeline west towards the northern Bahamas and will make landfall somewhere right about here as we go through the course of Wednesday night. Okay, so here is the European model projection of that landfall, which again is overnight tonight. In those same areas I mentioned, it is expected it will cross over the Florida Peninsula, and then we have to worry about what the remnants are going to do here downstream. Now, there has been a clear trend today to push everything west from what I was showing yesterday. So, and the reason for that, and we talked about this too, it was going to come down to this trough. The lead of this trough is all the way out here. If this was faster, it would have taken this kind of like this and out in this direction. But the trough is not faster, alas, it is slower. So therefore, it's going to have time to come up here like this and head up in this direction instead. If the trough was faster, it would pick it up faster and pushed it northeast quicker. That is not happening. Okay, so that is why the models are adjusting to that. And across the board, everything has pushed it west today. So that's going to shift some of the heavy rain concerns for our area farther more into the interior, northwest of I-95, in the interior locations. The exact areas to receive the heaviest rainfall is still yet to be determined, but I think if you're in near the I-95 corridor in point southeast, it's looking like it'll be a little bit breezy, but it's not going to be a heavy rainfall for you. Once we get up to, I'll show you in a second. We'll get to that in a second. Here is this low pressure, which is now a post-tropical low at this point, moving up the spine of the Appalachians. You can see this is previous 6 hours of precipitation. But you can see all the heavier rain is in western Pennsylvania for a prolonged period. So we get an initial push of showers that come through during the day on Friday. Then we get to Friday evening, and part of the overnight we'll have this heavier band move through our region before it lifts off to the north. And it's starting to look like Saturday morning will just be clouds giving way to sun and no leftover rain. That has been the trend over the last 24 hours. Now here is the NAM. So this is the long-range NAM. And it's a simulated radar going forward, starting off on Friday morning with a few showers initially, and then you have just some scattered showers throughout the day here on Friday. Then that will evolve into steadier and heavier periods of rain as we get to the evening on Friday. Heaviest rain is out here in western PA, but you will have a consolidation before this pulls out, and a heavier round of rain here coming in on either side of midnight coming on Friday evening. But this too, as we get to 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, it is clear of the region, so we just have some leftover clouds giving way to sun on Saturday instead of rain on Saturday, okay? So that is a little bit of a change. It sped up a little bit in that case too. So Saturday, in our local forecast, we still have a 30% chance of an early shower for now, but we might be dropping that here in future runs. Here's what the NAM has for precipitation. This is what I was talking about with the axis of heavy precipitation. The 1-inch line is right about here. Anything south and east of there is under 1 inch of rain. Okay, then you get in this in-between area, kind of in between here, where you get between 1 and 2 inches. And I know there's some high mounts. This is the NAM. NAM always overdoes precipitation. But up in this area would be your 2 inches plus area up in this area. So this area in between is like 1 to 2. And then areas south and east is going to be less than 1 inch is what we're looking at right now. That's generally the breakdown of precipitation across the region. And I can show you a whole bunch of different models here just to give you an idea. Here is the latest GFS for the same time frame. Generally doing the same thing. European model, generally doing the same thing. Again, it's just a matter of how far in the interior it's going to get. Is it going to be, just 10 miles northwest of I-95 deal where you get into the heavier rain over 1 inch, or is it going to be 40 to 50 miles northwest of I-95? But I do think the trends here are better for these areas down in the southeastern areas, and the heaviest rain would be across, obviously, western Pennsylvania, where that rain is going to be going on for heavier rain. Is going to go on for a longer duration. So here is the wind speeds expected as we get into later Friday afternoon through the entirety of the evening. It looks like a lot of these areas we're going to have a lot of 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts that are going to be common during this time frame. I would say like a 3-4 o'clock all the way up through about midnight time frame is when your breeziest time frame will be. A lot of common gusts, 25 to 35, some peak gusts that will be 40 to 45 during that time frame, and that will culminate with this this low pressure and the heavier rain moving off the coast here by very late Friday night. Okay, or moving off the northeast anyway. There could be some, when that does so, there could be some higher gusts at the shore points that could get in the 35 to 45 mile per hour range commonly, and peak gusts that could reach 50 miles per hour along the coastline. But in the interior, I think you're generally 25 to 35, some peak gusts 40 to 45. So that could lead to some outages in that case. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. And then, of course, after this point, I guess, again, Saturday is going to be any morning clouds giving way to sun, it looks like. Then we're back to partly cloudy skies on Sunday, mostly sunny Monday and Tuesday. And here is the temperature. So here's today, kind of near to slightly below average, right? And then we have a warm up here on Thursday. Thursday is going to be, as you see above me, 58 to 68 is a spread in temperature. So we start coming up, and we go up even further on Friday as that system's moving through. And then here is Saturday. We start to transition downward, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week are in the either side of the middle 40s for highs. So it's going to be quite a shock. So that has not changed, and this has not changed for the entire run. It's going to be at least slightly below average for a while, we think. This goes all the way to the morning of the 23rd, and you're still slightly below average at that point. Okay, so it's going to be, this is a true pattern change from what we've been dealing with in the first, 10, 12 days of the month to what's going to be behind that for the remainder next 10 days, or at least with at least slightly below average temperatures, and that's going to be coming in Saturday night and Sunday of this upcoming weekend. I'm EPA meteorologist Bobby Marcher. That is your outlook for November 9th, 2022. Have a great Wednesday.